Alrighty guys, and welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have set number 41150, Moana's Ocean Voyage, 307 pieces, and contains two minifigures, kind of, and three little builds, and I don't have the instructions because I don't know what on earth I did with them, but there is a poster included, which is a standard Disney Princess poster that comes in most of this wave of sets, I think. But, you know, if I find it, I'll probably throw it into the video, but I don't know where it is. So, anyway, let's get this thing built. Let's get building. And this set basically kind of tells a story here. So we're going to start with this boat first, then we'll move these out of the way. And this is obviously the boat that Moana and Maui sailed to the island, you know, Tahiti with, you know, just looking at it, it has a very interesting design. We don't see stuff like this too often, and Maui can fit right on these two planks here because he's a big fig, so that does give him plenty of space. The fact that this is such a weird shaped boat. It's kind of like a Polynesian boat. It's something that LEGO hasn't done before, so cool to see here. But it has like the one strut coming off the side, and zoom in so we can get a little bit more detail. And there's a sticker right here, which looks good, interesting design there. And that's pretty simple, and the actual structure of the boat itself is pretty simple as well. It uses a handful of these larger pieces to create the hull. You know, it's got a pretty long and thin shape to it. On the deck you can see there are a couple of accessories like a pineapple and some flowers, which I don't know if the flowers were there in the movie, and I'm pretty sure I don't remember a pineapple, but it adds a little bit of play value. There's an oar off to the side which you can just leave like that. You could put it into Moana's hand, but you'd have to use this little thing because of the way that mini dolls are designed, because they're bad. You'd have to go like that, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it would be better to see mini dolls that aren't mini dolls and are just minifigures. But that's kind of just a personal thing. Moana also comes with this map, which has the fishhook shape path on it, and this is leading them to where they need to go. And she also has the Heart of Tahiti, which is an important thing in the movie, and we'll see what that's used for later in the review. But you'll see she's sitting, or she has this piece that she can sit there, you know, normally, but it's a little stickered tile there. And also, there are two more stickers just for wood planks. Very interesting wood planks, but nonetheless just wood planks. And that's on a trap door, which actually has a little hatch underneath that you can store some stuff. Right now there's just a banana in there. And Hey was kind of in there. We'll take a look at him with the figures later. But he can stand in his little, you know, hatch on the bottom of the, or inside the boat's, you know, kind of hull. There's a little hole in front of the hatch, which he can sit in. And the most impressive part of this build, which takes up actually probably most of the space, is this one big sail piece. And it looks really nice. You can notice the copyright, whatever, down there. It would have been nice if they could start printing the copyright thing on the back, but, you know, there are problems with that, because it would be less visible, which is a good thing for us, but not really for the whole copyright thing. But it has this nice symbol, which is similar to that of the actual Heart of Tahiti itself. Similar shape. But, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this boat. But, I still gotta get to the island, so let's take a look at what lies. Is mostly just water, but as they're sailing to the island of Tahiti, they do run into the Kakamora, which are these weird little coconut people. And they were actually represented in this set, which I think is really kind of neat. Obviously this is a whole lot smaller than what it was in the movie. They had like a whole big ship, but in this set they get a little raft. And it has a nice, you know, mast representation. And a little leaf on top. I'm not sure what that's about, but for the small size, it's pretty cool. And the Kakamora are basically printed black minifigure heads. They're both the same, they just have different stuff on top, different hats. But they can catapult themselves. And the catapult is a little weird in just the way it works, because it goes like straight forward. There's pretty much no arc to it at all. It doesn't work great, but you know, it works well enough. And I just like the inclusion of these characters. But since their presence in this set is so small, it's relatively easy for Moana and Maui to make their way to Te Fiti. So they do that, and once they're there, it's kind of a fiery lava monster thing. It's kind of not no bueno. But you can take the heart of Te Fiti and you can place it inside here on that jumper tile, and that's accessed by just pulling down this. That's what it's like by default. But once you do that, you can take the lava monster, which is a sticker on a shield piece, and you can turn it around so it's no longer the lava monster, and you've restored the heart of Te Fiti and saved the island, and now it's all nice and pretty and all that. Another sticker on a shield there. But I think that looks okay. It doesn't look exactly like what it does in the movie. And this is obviously the very end of the movie, what happens. So they actually did a really nice job representing the actual course of the movie in this one set. With a minimal amount of stuff. But what they did include definitely does a good job of representing the movie as a whole. And I do also like the island scenery. It's included here. There's some little waterfalls on the side. I like these quarter round tiles in tan, which is cool. And then there are 3 little palm trees. This one's really short. But these 2 here, one of them is tall and impressive. Doesn't even fit on the camera, but I think that they look good, and they definitely give it that kind of tropical island feel. So I like that quite a bit. Obviously, though, when you do turn around the head, it is still there, and it's a little weird from the back. But I guess maybe this thing will make a return at some point. You can always just turn it back around and do the whole thing again. But then Moana and Maui are in a little bit of trouble, so we'll just leave it like this. And then everything's okay. So, yeah, let's get a look at everything. Alright, so the mini doll included with this set is Moana. And she's actually different from the version of Moana that appears in the other set. She has some good detailing all around, I guess. Her face definitely looks like the character from the movie, so I'll give it that. And it is on a darker skin tone to be, movie accurate. And it is a mini doll though, so I'm not a big fan. The hair doesn't exactly do it for me. I don't know what it is about it, but it doesn't look perfect. And I like the flower in the hair though, that works. But the torso print is okay. She does have the necklace from the movie. And the back does have a little bit of printing, only the one color, but again, it's not the worst thing in the world. And the skirt piece looks okay. I just wish that this was a minifigure, not a mini doll. Just because I don't see a point to have mini dolls in general. I think that if you just used minifigures instead, you could have achieved the same exact thing, except without, changing the system. And that way, everything would be, interchangeable between the friend system and the system. So, I think that that's kind of not really a good move for LEGO to make. Obviously it sells, but I would have preferred to see them just introduce the Friends line with normal minifigures and not mini dolls. And this line as well would work, just as well. Because there are probably a decent amount of boys who would buy this set if it just had normal minifigures. Because, the boat is cool, and kids like boats, right? Probably. I don't know. But I don't know if it would have been a wise decision for them to market it like that, but I feel like a whole lot more AFOLs and, just Disney and LEGO collectors would have appreciated it more, just because it would fit in with the system of stuff that they already have, and it would go well with, like the Disney Princess theme as a whole would go well with the Disney Castle, the Disney minifigure series that were released last year. Well, if only, they were actual minifigures. But if you combine minifigures with mini dolls, between the series and the Disney princess theme, it doesn't work as well. So anyway, enough ranting about mini dolls. Let's look at the other characters in the set. And they did a whole lot of complaining about the way they did Moana, but I think Maui is done pretty well, at least close to the best that they could do. His legs seem a little big, but other than that, I think the Big Fig design was the right choice to make. Just because if you did him as a normal, well, if you did him as a mini doll, it would be absolutely awful. If you did him as a minifigure, it would look okay, but I think that the Big Fig definitely suits him the best. He does have the green leaf shorts or whatever, and his arms do have the tattoos printed on there. So, you know, exclusive to this guy. He also has the dark flesh hands, and the other arm has tattoos as well. They are not the same, so that's cool. And you can see on his torso, he has a bunch of tattoos all over the place. Even has the little Maui lifting up, you know, the side. And his face looks pretty respectable as well. I think that the hair is really impressive, just the way that they molded that. There's a lot of sculpting in there. And his fishhook, you know, is a decent build. It looks fishhooky enough. Not quite movie accurate fishhooky, but it looks like a hook. So I think that that's pretty good. Overall, I think that the Big Fig would have benefited a ton from having the tattoos on the back as well. And maybe if they did a different Big Fig mold with different legs, it would look better. I almost want to say that it might have been interesting for them to try what they did with the Leatherhead from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and have like a Big Fig body on top of regular minifigure legs. But again, that wouldn't work just with this system, the mini doll system, because they don't like minifigures in Disney princess sets. So anyway, there are more characters included. Let's look at them. Alright, so here we have one of the Kakamora. There are two. Again, they both have the same print, so I figured I'd leave this here so that you can see the printing. But we're really here to take a look at Hey Hey, the rooster. And the molding of him looks okay. The head or the neck might be a little thick, but obviously if they made a thinner neck, it would probably break pretty easily. The only thing I don't like about this one is the eyes. However, that is a lot more accurate than it might seem, because originally the plan for Hey Hey was to be a really, really angry kind of rooster. And then eventually they ended up settling on the doofus, kind of stupid rooster. But I would assume that the concept art that the LEGO design team was given was based on the angry one. And if you look at this compared to the angry Hey Hey concept, it actually looks really similar. I think that they kind of nailed that, but failed to, you know, be able to change it in time to release the set. So we're stuck with this. I think it looks okay, and I don't really see a problem with it. The actual molding, though, looks really good, and definitely a nice character to see included. The Kakamora, obviously I mentioned, it's nice to get some bad guys included. And yes, they're very minimalistic, and they don't look a ton like they did in the movie, but the resemblance is definitely there, and I think that that's also another nice thing to include. So, obviously, the Tafiti was a character, but we're gonna move on to the final verdict, because we already basically took a look at that. So, let's go. So I think that what this set does is provide a really interesting build in the form of this boat. It provides a really interesting kind of separate side build. It's not just extra pieces. I think this is almost more substantial than the boat itself in terms of a building experience. But the great thing that this set does is provide a story to be played out. You know, it has the whole boat which, you know, obviously, that was a big part of the movie. They're sailing around the seas. Provides an obstacle, and then it provides a way to reenact the conclusion of the movie with this whole little island side build. So I think that that's really good and definitely a very well done set. I think that it also does a good job of not just being pink and purple and light blue and white and all those colors that are just friend set specific. It actually has a very kind of neutral color scheme, and this would pass as a not friend set if you just removed the mini doll. And like that, it's not necessarily a friend set. And you can still kind of feel it with some of the cartoonier builds, but that's kind of just because it is, you know, a Disney princess movie. So overall, I think this is a really good set and would definitely recommend it. I just wish that this minifigure, or that this mini doll was a minifigure instead. And that would make the entire set like 100 times better, and I would have just gone out and bought it right away. But the way it is, I think it's still not awful, and definitely, you know, the Hey Hey and Maui still look okay when put with minifigures. Just, you gotta do something about Moana. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please let me know by leaving a comment or like down below, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.